me, and I was amazed because I am not very computer literate. I'm not very good with technology, but he is, so he helped me.
Wow, well, he did a great job.
He's very good. So I guess, would you like me to talk about how I put together Ada's ideas?
Yes, I think we would love to hear that, as well as how you did your research for the book. That would be awesome.
Would you like to read the story, or do you already know it?
We would love for you to read us a story, but maybe a different one that you wrote.
Okay, I'll talk about Ada's ideas first,
Okay.
and then I'll read another story.
Okay, because I read that to them last week, so that would be awesome. Thank you.
That's great. Well, first of all, I've written and illustrated quite a few different picture books in the past. I've done things like the 323 Detective Agency, The Useful Moose, and What Animals Really Like. And they are all works of fiction, which means that they're stories that are made up from my imagination. But I heard about a woman called Ada Lovelace who lived in the 19th century, and I heard that she was the world's first computer programmer, and I thought, well, how come no one knows about her? She's not very famous. The only people that I met that knew about her were computer programmers, and they said, oh my goodness, she's amazing. So I decided to write a book about her, and what was very different about this experience was that it was going to be my first non-fiction book. So everything in it had to be true. So the first thing I did was I went to my library, which is the best source for information, and I found several books on her, and I read them. And I'll just show you some of them to show how much research I did. There was this book, then this book, then this book, and this book. And these are all adult books on Ada Lovelace, but there weren't any kids' books on Ada Lovelace. Now, I had to do a lot of reading, and it's actually quite difficult for me because I find it very difficult to focus on thick books. I have to read a few pages at a time, then take a little break, and then get back to it. Okay? So I did all the reading, and the next thing I did was I visited some fantastic museums in England, where I'm from. Now, one of these museums is called the Museum of Science and Industry, and it contains lots of inventions from the 19th century that Ada was fascinated with. And in the book, you can see some of the machines that she was fascinated with in the Industrial Revolution in England. You can see them on this page. I also went to a silk museum, and at the silk museum, I found out how a jacquard loom works now. A jacquard loom was very important because it was fed with a series of cards that showed the kind of pattern that the silk would be woven into. So it was really important for me to work out how that worked, because that's what Ada planned to do with the world's first computer. Now, when I normally put together a book, I write the words and I draw the pictures at the same time. And then I put together what's called a dummy. And it's a loose book, a very rough book, and I couldn't find the one for Ada. I don't know what's happened to it. It's a loose, rough book where I just put down ideas and sketches. And I think that's a good idea for you to try if you ever want to write an illustrator book. Now, when I did the art for Ada, I decided that I would make it three-dimensional, and then it would be photographed. So I have a piece of art to show you. so this is it.
Wow. That's cool.
And I don't know if you can see this, but if I show you sideways on,
That's
let me see if I
cool.
can show you this.
Wow.
Can you see that the images are raised from the background to make it three-dimensional? And to do that, to make it three-dimensional, I used Lego bricks.
Ah,
Yeah, my son has a lot of Lego, and I borrowed a few pieces from him. And if you want to make a similar picture that's three-dimensional, you can use Lego bricks to stack high or stack low, depending on how much depth you want to give the image,
oh, that's cool.
right? So this is one of my pictures. Now, also in the book, there's this pattern in the book of Jacquard loom cards, and I hole punched every single hole in
Oh
that,
my goodness.
which took a long time.
Yeah.
But if you want to try it yourself, it's very, very easy. All you need is a piece of paper and a hole puncher, and that's how you can make your own programming card.
Huh.
Very easy. Now, what else can I say about Ada? Did you ever hear of Ada Lovelace before the book? No. I find it really strange because she seems to have had a really important role and yet no one knows about her. So I think this book is good because you know what it also shows? It shows that women and girls can also be very good at math and computing, and that's very important to know, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask me?
I'm going to start it off with more of your art. I think it's amazing. Who did the photography for your pictures once you... And it's always fun to see how big the illustrations were, because...
Right.
You know.
So I normally do very big illustrations, and when they're put into the book, they're scaled down, and that makes them better somehow. I don't really know how it works. Also, I can't work tiny. I like to work big. But the photographs were all taken by my boyfriend, Jay, who is a professional photographer, and he did a beautiful, beautiful job. I couldn't have done it without him.
And how long did it take you to do... Because all those illustrations you cut out with an X-Acto knife, so how long did it take you to... That's a lot of cutting.
Oh, it took me a long time. It took me about 8 months to do all the pictures.
And are they watercolor?
They're watercolor, yeah, and let me see. But the funny thing is, I use a very sharp blade, and I did not cut myself once. So I'm really proud of that.
That's good. And did you
But
do
you
it?
know, it's one of those things that when I first started off, I did it rather slowly, but after a while, it became like second nature. And now, all the time, I'm finding I draw and paint and I cut everything out. It's really funny. I'm kind of hooked on it now.
Yeah, well, it gives a really neat effect. Were there any pictures that you wanted to redo after you saw maybe the depth wasn't correct, or from what?
Ooh, you know what I did? As I was going along with the pictures, I would cast a very strong light from one angle when I was fixing them with the Legos, just so I knew that everything was at the right height. So I was being quite careful and thorough about it. But you know, I have to tell you, there's a few of the images that actually got cut in the end because my editor said they didn't fit in with the text properly, so I had to redo a lot of stuff.
Ah,
Mm.
that's a lot of work with writing and...
It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
but it's, you know what? It's so much fun.
Yeah, well, we enjoyed it. It taught us a lot, so we enjoyed that. I know we always like to know who were the artists and authors that inspired you. Who are your favorites?
Oh my goodness. You know, I've always loved Morris Sendak. I love Where the Wild Things Are. And let me think of some others. I love Roald Dahl and his illustrator Quentin Blake. And it's funny, I grew up in England, so I didn't have the same childhood books that maybe you had, Kelly. So, oh, I just lost you. Oh, I've got you back.
Sorry, my fault.
So I had I used to like a lot of very, very English books. There's a man in particular called John Birmingham that I really, really liked, but isn't very famous over here. But nowadays, you know, I really like the winner of the Caldecott, about the book about Jean-Michel Basquiat by Jericho Steptoe. I think that's absolutely stunning. And I guess, you know, I still collect a lot of kids' books. I really, really enjoy them. So, yeah.
They're works of art. We enjoy them too. So let's see. We Ada, when we were learning about Ada, I'm just amazed by her vision, that what she had, and what we know now, because these kids are starting to code. And so that page where you showed the algorithms, it was just incredible to see her vision. So I just want to say thank you for bringing Ada's ideas to life, because it taught us a lot. And then we got to be introduced to the Industrial Revolution and all that. So.
Well, you know, I found the Industrial Revolution really fascinating because the place where it started was in Manchester in England, which is where I'm from. So when I was growing up, when I was a little girl, the place I lived in looked like this. So I was already kind of interested in the Industrial Revolution, but I think it's fascinating also that the computer that she and Babbage were working on was going to be powered by steam because electricity hadn't been harnessed yet.
Amazing.
I know, it's amazing, right? And it would have been, these machines would have been so big that they would have been probably about the size of your classroom. The room that you're in at the moment, they would have been bigger than that. And now if you think of a modern day computer, you know, a cell phone is a computer and it's tiny. So everything started off big and got much, 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 much smaller.
Yeah, and then I did not know about the fabric that loomed. Amazing, his vision too. That was pretty cool.
There is some argument to be made that might have been the world's first computer, the Jacquard loom, which I find fascinating too.
Yeah, I keep meaning to bring in some of that fabric to share with them. Maybe before we do a few student questions, can you share one of your favorite books with us?
That I've written?
Yeah, that would be great. We didn't get a chance to read the Moose story yet, or if you have a favorite.
Have you read What Animals Really Like yet?
No, you can read that one. That would be great.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
Okay. Let's do that.
I'm putting my glasses on, everyone. Okay, so this is the cover. What Animals Really Like. And you can see on the cover that the animals are getting ready for a performance. This page is a gatefold, and there's the conductor. He's making his way onto the stage. And then the page opens up and reveals a whole stage of animals getting ready to sing. And the conductor says, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here for the first time I present my new song, What Animals Like Most. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, and I'm warning you, I'm going to sing. We are lions and we like to prowl. We are wolves and we like to howl. We are pigeons and we like to coo. We are cows and we like to moo. We are monkeys and we like to play. We are horses and we like fresh hay. We are worms and we like to wiggle. We are warthogs and we like to blow enormous bubbles. Blow enormous bubbles? Stop, that's not in my song. But we do love blowing enormous bubbles. Look, we're attempting a new world record. Says the conductor. Let's start again from after the warthogs. Frogs, are you ready? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, and we are frogs and we like to swim. We are shrimp and we like to ski. Ski? That's not in my song either. When have you ever been skiing? Well, we just got our photos back. Here we are in Switzerland. Hey, you had great weather. These are photographs of all the shrimp skiing. Okay, the conductor is now really unhappy. Shh, order, order. We'll start again with the kangaroos. A 1, a 2, and the kangaroos say, don't expect us to sing that we like to hop around. Actually, we prefer ping pong. That's it. I give up. And then a tiny little mouse pops up, walks forward to the conductor and says, don't give up, just let us sing about what we really like, not what you think we like. There's a big difference, right? Yeah. Well, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It will probably sound very silly, and it won't rhyme, you know. Are you sure you want to hear what the animals really like? Yeah. Oh, okay then, from the top. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, and we are lions and we like flower arranging. We are wolves and we like to perform magic. We are pigeons and we like ballet. We are cows and we like to dig. We are monkeys and we like all-you-can-eat buffets. Now, some of the monkeys have gone behind the curtain at the back there, and they're going to the all-you-can-eat buffet that's there. We are horses and we like deep-sea diving. And look, there's a trapdoor in the stage, and below is the sea. We are worms and we like to bowl. We are warthogs and we like to parachute. Conductor says, aha, you said you like blowing enormous bubbles before. And this lady warthog says, we changed our minds. We also like to change our minds. We are frogs and we like tennis and most martial arts. Our favourite food is pizza with extra mushrooms but absolutely no tomatoes whatsoever. We are shrimp and we like to ski. We are kangaroos and we like ping pong. And we are mice and we like cheese. Cheese? You actually like cheese? Not acrobatics or cheerleading or modern art? No, we really do like cheese. And then the conductor says, right, that's it, show's over. And Little Lady Mouse says, no, please let us finish. And then the book opens up again. There's this very long picture, and they're all doing their favourite things. And the last thing they sing is, but most of all, we like singing to you. Thank you for listening to our song. And the audience goes wild and shouts bravo and brava, and they throw roses for the conductor, and he says, but I don't like flowers.
That's
So,
cute. Yay! I love it. Reminds me of Ferdinand the Bull.
oh, this is a fantastic book.
Yes. I hear that's going to be a movie.
I hope so.
Yes. Well, thank you. That was wonderful. Okay, so let's look. If you have a question, first tell it to your teacher, and then if they give you permission, come on up and speak it out. Okay, great. First teacher, first question. Okay, let's please be quiet. Shh. All right, thank you. So don't forget to introduce yourself. Hello.
My question is, if you had any other job than being an author, what would you do?
If you had any other job,
Wow.
what would you do?
That's a fantastic question. I suspect I would be someone who worked in nature. Probably, you know what? I think what my dream job would be, it would be to be like it would be a park ranger in one of the beautiful American national parks. I would love that.
That would be awesome. I love it too. So thank you.
Right? I still quite fancy doing that.
You should. There's so many beautiful parks there too.
Oh, wonderful, yeah.
Oh, I can't get enough of them myself. All right, here comes the next question.
If one of
Hello.
Say hi, Mama.
Hi, my name is Brianna, and
Hi.
my question is, if one of your books were to become a movie, which one would it be?
Ooh. Let me think. I think Ada's ideas would be good,
Absolutely.
right? But also my detective book, the 323 Detective Agency, which is like a graphic novel, I think that would make a great animation.
Yeah, that would be cute. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question. Okay, they're coming up. Here she comes. Dun, dun, dun. Don't forget to say here.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. It's nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too. My question is, what inspired you to make books?
Oh, very good question. You know, when I was about 5 or 6 and I first started elementary school, my favorite thing was when the teacher would read aloud to the class. And I felt very happy and very loved, and it felt very cozy. And then when my dad and my grandmas used to read to me, it gave me the best feeling. And I think I just fell in love with picture books then. And when I was 6 years old, I decided I would write and illustrate kids' books.
Awesome. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
My question is for Ada's ideas. What gave you or your illustrator the idea to cut out your pictures in Exacto?
So she's the illustrator.
You know, first of all, I really like working in 3 dimensions. I normally do regular paintings, but I actually like making things and cutting things out and gluing. And I've done a lot of books that were flat, and I just really wanted to try something different. And I also thought it would make the whole book look more theatrical and dramatic. And it was funny because when I first started doing it, all my friends who are illustrators just said, "You are completely crazy. It's going to take you forever. It's going to be so frustrating." But I just wanted to do it, and I love doing it as well. It's something that it's a skill that developed, and it was just really exciting to do. So and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I wanted to try something new.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sure, yeah. Okay, next question's coming. You ready?
Hello.
My name is Jennifer.
Hi.
What do you do when you do nothing?
What do you do when you're not writing books? Is that what you're saying? What do you do when you're not doing your art and books?
Ooh, you know, well, I'm a mummy. I have a 10-year-old son, so I end up helping him with a lot of homework. The thing I do to relax, though, when my son's asleep and I've got an hour to myself, is I love doing the New York Times crossword. I do it every day.
No, you learn a lot.
I love crosswords.
Yeah, that's good. You learn a lot of new words that way.
Oh, I know. And it kind of keeps you on your toes with
Yeah.
words as well.
That's why my mom always beats me at word games, because she does word searches. Crosswords.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Minerva. How many times have you been rejected?
Oh, how many times have you been rejected? Ooh.
That's a very, very good question. Honestly, when I put together an idea for a book and I do a dummy with the images and the illustrations, I've been rejected maybe 15 times. I've had 15 books rejected. Yeah. That have never gone further than just a dummy. Which is kind of like, you think, well, that's a lot, that's a lot to have rejected. But then at the same time, I get things that are published. And I think it's just part of what I do, is that you do get a lot of rejections, but you get a lot of acceptances as well. So it balances that.
Now, the ones that were rejected, do you tend to shelf those, or do you plan to revisit them someday and try again, or just move it on?
No, you know what? There's some of them I realised like afterwards that I can see that they're flawed. But one book I had rejected a couple of years ago, I actually looked at it again and thought, you know, this is actually a pretty sound idea, and I've redone it. So my agent will start submitting it to different publishers very soon. But that story is about a girl, and she finds a sardine can, and she opens the sardine can because it's shouting help, and inside is a teeny weeny mermaid who got caught with the sardines, and they have a big play date together.
That's cute. That's cute. Well, I'd like to read that one.
My name is Jim.
Oh, thank you.
So I noticed that in some of your books, most of your books, you have animals. Do you have like some sort of connection with them?
Yes, I really, really love animals, and I think the Ada book is the first book I've written that actually has humans in it, which is really funny. But I've always loved animals. I think that's probably why I'd like to become a park ranger, because then you would get to see animals in the wild a lot. But also what I like doing with animals is this thing, and it's a big word, anthropomorphism. And anthropomorphism is when you take a drawing or an idea of an animal and you give them human characteristics. It's what Disney does all the time with Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and Donald Duck. So you make them act like humans. And sometimes it's easier to do that than to show actual humans doing things like that.
Good question. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well,
Thank you.
that's all of our questions. Thank you so much. Do you have any parting wisdom you'd like to share with us? And then I'd love to take your picture before we go, if that's okay.
I think that you guys have such a great time learning in school. I wish I could go back to school now, because elementary school was like the most favorite time of my life. You learn so much and it's so much fun. So all I want to do is to wish you all the best in the future, to keep writing and drawing and doing your computer programming, and I would love to hear from you again.
Oh, well, thank you. What do we say?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I appreciate it. If I could take a picture of you holding some of your books, that would be awesome. I'm gonna turn my image off so I can just see you, and then I will count to 3. So you know, if you can hold them up just a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let me do one more. Make sure I got that one. Nope, I got it.